Weird sound. Okay. Hay un sonido muy distinto ahorita. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and announce the case. This is the court is calling cause number 2018 DCM 0314. This is an action to enforce child support. Parties in this case are Pablo Floyd and Claudia de la Torre Chavez, who are present in the court and before this court on the Zoom process. I understand from the parties that neither speak English. I'm going to try and do the best that I can to translate for them. Este es un caso en que la corte está pidiendo que se enforce esta orden por castigo de encarcelamiento por falta de pagar el sostenimiento que la corte había anteriormente ordenado. Presente está el señor Pablo Floyd, la señora Claudia de la Torre Chávez. Lo voy a pedir al Estado de Texas, ask the state of Texas to announce, make an announcement on this case.
I'm sorry, sir. I think we cut out there for a bit.
Is the state asking for contempt in this matter?
The state is presently requesting contempt.
Señor Floyd, el Estado de Texas, la Procuraduría del Estado de Texas está pidiendo castigo por encarcelamiento por falta de pagar el sostenimiento. Yo soy el juez Antonio Rodríguez asistiendo en este caso. Usted tiene derecho, señor, por la razón de que el Estado está pidiendo que lo encarcele. Usted tiene derecho a tener un abogado que lo represente en este asunto. Así es que puede usted emplear un abogado o si no tiene los recursos en cómo emplear un abogado, puede pedir a la corte que le nombre un abogado en su caso. ¿Quiere usted tener un abogado? ¿Va a emplear su propio abogado o quiere que le nombre un abogado?
Voy a agarrar mi propio abogado.
Dígame otra vez, no lo escuché muy bien.
Yo busco mi propio abogado yo.
¿Usted quiere emplear su propio abogado?
Sí.
¿Ya habló con un abogado?
Voy a conseguir un abogado por mi cuenta.
Okay. Right. Mr. Floyd is telling me that he intends to hire his own attorney in this matter. Mr. Floyd, ¿qué tanto tiempo necesita usted para tener un abogado y estar listo para esta audiencia?
No sé qué es el tiempo que me puedan dar ustedes para tener la audiencia con el abogado.
Probablemente vamos a fijar la cita en este caso hasta agosto.
¿Hasta qué, perdón?
Hasta agosto. Agosto
Okay.
27.
Una pregunta. Para esa fecha, si está cubierto el total del monto que se debe, ¿necesito de todo modo el abogado?
Tiene que tener un abogado para ese tiempo, señor.
Sí, pero si para ese tiempo yo ya pagué el monto, la deuda que se debe, ¿de todos modos tengo que agarrar un abogado?
Sí, señor.
¿Perdón?
Sí, señor, tiene que tener un abogado.
Sí, pero si para ese tiempo yo ya pagué el total de lo que se debía, ¿de todos modos tengo que agarrar un abogado?
Hable con un abogado a ver eso, a ver si se puede hacer un acuerdo.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and set a date. He does want to hire his own attorney. I'm setting a date of August the 27th at 8 o'clock to come back, and we'll either come back on a Zoom or a in-court, in-person hearing. Voy a fijar la cita para agosto 27.
Okay.
Mañana. Preparar una orden en esa manera. El señor tiene que estar presente en esa audiencia. Necesita que su abogado pueda anunciar qué arreglo se ha hecho. Okay. Pero usted tiene que asistir en esa audiencia. Señora de la Torre, también usted tiene que asistir en esa audiencia.
Okay.
Voy a preparar una orden en esa manera. Se les va a mandar a ustedes dos una copia de esa orden. Y si no hay otra pregunta, eso sería todo por hoy.
Es todo.
I've advised both parties on the record that Mr. Flores to be here on the 27th of August at 8 o'clock. He's telling me that he is going to employ an attorney. He thinks that he might be able to pay off the arrearages at that time. And I told him that, well, if he does hire an attorney, he should contact the Attorney General's office to see what arrangements can be made. If no arrangements have been made, then he does have to be here on that day. The author as well. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare an admonishment form, and both parties will be receiving a copy of that admonishment form. Mr. Canalta, is there anything else that I needed to address with the parties, or are we all clear on this?
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Entonces vamos a preparar una orden, se las va a mandar a los dos y nos vemos a esa fecha. Y si hay un arreglo anterior de antes de esa audiencia, entonces se comunican con el abogado del Estado. Okay.
Okay.
Que su abogado se comunique. Okay.
Okay.
Con esto se termina la audiencia por hoy. Hay una pregunta. Señora de la Torre, ¿tiene pregunta usted, señor?
Nada más la hora del 27 de agosto.
Así es, a las 8 de la mañana. Y es posible que estemos en la corte en lugar de estar aquí presente por medio de esta audiencia, por medio de teléfono o audio. Todo depende en si abren las cortes en ese tiempo. Okay. Pero
primeramente Dios.
Se les va a mandar noticias y va a hacer esta audiencia por el Zoom o si vamos a estar en corte. ¿Ok?
Ok.
Otra pregunta.
Ninguna.
Ándale, pues entonces se va a preparar la orden. Ya con eso ya se termina esta audiencia y se pueden retirar de esta audiencia.
Ok, gracias.
Gracias.
Buen día.
Buen día, igualmente.
Buen día. Bye.
Pueden colgar. Gracias.
Bye.
Okay. All right. I have one person who says, and I have no idea who this person is. Galaxy 13 Prime. The only other one that might be is the last case that we have, which might be Galaxy 13. Yes, can you please identify yourself? Who are you, please? Okay. It might be Miss Torres. Yes, are you Miss Torres? No se le escucha, por favor. Can't hear you, please.
No.
She has to unmute so she can talk.
Mute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Okay, I think I hear you now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Are you, who are you, ma'am?
Lourdes Torres.
Lourdes Torres, okay.
Lourdes, yeah.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, and the other party is Mr. Martin Herrera, okay, who is not here yet. You know anything about where Mr. Herrera is at this time?
I believe he's incarcerated.
Ms. Torres, do you know where he is?
I have no idea. I haven't heard nothing about him. The last thing that I heard about him, the sister told me that he was in jail.
Okay.
Like 4 years
right.
back.
Yes, ma'am. That's the information that we have as well. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and call this case. This matter was scheduled for hearing at 1 o'clock. It is now 1:22. Okay, so this is in case 2009 AG 4033. This is a hearing on a motion to modify and confirm child support in this case. The parties in this case are Martin Herrera and Lourdes Torres. Ms. Torres is present by way of Zoom. Letter of record should reflect that Mr. Martin Herrera, sorry, was served with citation back on March the 26th. And according to the information that the court has available, he was served at some facility of the Texas Department of Corrections, some jail somewhere, okay? In any event, Mr. Torres is not present. My name is Antonio Rodriguez. I am the Associate Judge for the Title 40 Court here in El Paso, Texas. We are proceeding under the Zoom application because of the fact that we cannot be in court due to the pandemic crisis that's going on. So that's why the state of Texas has allowed us to proceed on this application of remote hearings, right? And Ms. Torres is present. Is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Torres, I need to swear you in, ma'am. If you would please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
I need to have verbal response, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yes, I do.
All right, thank you. You may need to speak a little bit louder, ma'am, because I can barely hear you, okay? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Knopf, go ahead.
At this time, the state would offer an updated service document for Mr. Martin Herrera. The version of the service document on the Odyssey system, at least when we pulled it up, came up blank. However, we do have a filled out copy that does indicate service on the date described by the court at the relevant TDCJ facility. Just so we can cover all our bases, I'd ask the court to please take notice of this and enter it into evidence.
All right, I will take judicial notice of the return of citation that has been filed in this case. I'm bringing up my Odyssey right now. I can confirm that. All right, according to the return of citation that was filed with the court on April the 3rd of this year, it appears that Mr. Martin Herrera was served with citation in a facility in Amarillo, Texas, the Clemens Unit, TDC, on March 26th of this year at 9:30 a.m. That return has been on file, and it does appear to be in proper form, so I will take notice and admit for the record the return of citation, and that no response has been filed by Mr. Herrera in this case. All right, go ahead, Mr. Kana.
This time, the state would also offer its updated financial activity report. We'd initially attached a copy of our payment record to the pleadings in this case. We'd now seek to have the most recent version of that entered into evidence in compliance with the statutes of the Texas Family Code.
All right. For the record, the court has received the financial report that has been tendered by the Attorney General. Okay, so I have it in. I have received it through the email system, and I will admit that financial report, the updated financial report. Go ahead, Mr. Knopf.
This time, the state will also offer the TDCJ Offender Information Detail Report that indicates that Mr. Martin Estrada Herrera, as identified by his date of birth, is presently subject to an order of incarceration, which could potentially extend as far out as 2033. State offers and asks this also be entered into evidence.
All right, the court has received the offender information pertaining to Mr. Martin Estrada Herrera, which does indicate he's currently incarcerated. The projected release date is in 2021. I will admit the offender information report. Go ahead.
Um, Apologies. At this time, I'd like to call Ms. Loudres Torres.
All right, go ahead.
Ma'am, could you please state your name for the court?
Yeah, Lourdes Torres. I'm so sorry because I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who are your children before the court today?
The name of my children?
Yes.
Jose Carlos Herrera, he's 14, and Martin Ismael Herrera, he's 16.
Who is the father of these children?
Martin Ismael Herrera,
Has he been previously ordered to pay child support for these children?
yeah, he hasn't paid nothing, nothing for his children, nothing at all.
Would you agree with the Attorney General calculation that Mr. Herrera is behind $60,128.25 in his past due child support?
Yeah, I think the last time that I went like 2 months ago, they had told me like, yeah, something like that, 60 something that he owned. But he had never given me money for his children.
And likewise, does it sound about right that he's past due in his medical support payments in the amount of $19,098.06?
I'm so sorry, sir. I cannot hear you.
Apologies. The Office of the Attorney General calculates that Mr. Herrera is past due in his medical support in the amount of $19,098.06. Does that sound correct to you?
I don't have the amount, sir. I don't know how much he's behind, but he has never provided for his children.
Do you know where Mr. Herrera is right now?
Do I know where he is?
Yes.
The sister had told me like 4 years back that he was incarcerated. He was in jail.
Have you received any new information since then about his whereabouts?
No, sir, nothing. No.
Do you know if Mr. Herrera is working right now?
He's in jail.
Do you know if he has any outside financial assets which could be used to pay child support, like investments, real estate, oil and gas, anything like that?
No, sir, I don't know.
How are your children presently covered for health care?
They're in Medicaid, and all the help that I get, I'm a disabled person. I get a SSI.
Do you have access to private health insurance right now?
Private help, no.
Do you know if Mr. Herrera would have access to any kind of private market insurance?
No, sir.
Are you seeking to continue the healthcare coverage for the children under the government program?
For as of right now, yeah, they're in Medicaid.
Are you seeking to continue that coverage going forward?
Yeah, until they're 18.
Would the disclosure of your contact information, such as your home address or phone number in the final order of this court, would that cause you any increased risk of harm or harassment?
Can you please repeat the question?
The final order of the court is going to have your home address and telephone number in it. If that were disclosed in the order of the court, would that cause you or the children an increased risk of danger or harassment?
Like him having my address or my phone number?
Yes.
I don't want him to have that information. I went at the child support. I asked them not to provide him because they sent him papers. I don't know if to his mom's house, she already passed away, or to jail, but I don't want him to know my address or my phone number because he's a really violent person.
The state will rest subject to a brief closing argument.
Okay. All right. All right. What is the state's recommendation on this matter?
As we have indication that Mr. Herrera is presently incarcerated and likely will be for over 90 days, the normal presumption that he's out and about working, making a living has been rebutted. We also have testimony from the custodial parent that he doesn't have any outside assets we could leverage to pay child support. Thus, the state is going to recommend that Mr. Herrera's present child support and medical support obligations be reduced to zero as of January 1st, 2020. However, the state is requesting a judgment on past due child support arrears as of May 31st, 2020 in the amount of $59,878.25 for past due child support and $18,985.06 for past due medical support. The state is requesting that a payback rate be set on those past due arrears in the amount of $265 for past due child support to begin January 1st, 2020 and continue monthly thereafter. And $122 per month for past due medical support to start as of July 1st, 2020 and continue monthly thereafter. As we do have an indication from the custodial parent in this case that Mr. Herrera has a potentially violent history and nature, the state is requesting that her personal information be non-disclosed in the final order of this court. As neither party has access to private health insurance at a reasonable cost, the state will also recommend that the children continue to be covered under the appropriate government healthcare assistance program.
All right. Based on the testimony, and because Mr. Herrera is in jail at this time, and according to the family code, when a person is incarcerated for a period of time, child support and medical support for the time being, while he's incarcerated, is going to be set at zero. However, I am going to go ahead and confirm what Mr. Herrera owes in child support and medical support, and will render a judgment in those amounts as indicated. And I will set the payments on those judgments at, I got $365 on the child support arrears, Mr. Canal.
$265.
$265, okay. $265, and I think initially you said January 1st, but I think you meant July 1, starting July.
Yes, sir. July 1st.
And on the medical support arrears, $122, also commencing on July 1. Is that the recommendation, Mr. Canal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So he's going to be ordered to pay what he owes in child support arrears, what he owes in the past. Okay. Now, at such time as Mr. Herrera is released from custody, at that time we can go ahead and set child support for the children in this case. Okay. So once the Attorney General is aware of the fact that Mr. Herrera is no longer in jail, we can start up the child support again. Okay. I will order that any of Ms. Torres's information, such as her address and telephone numbers, not to be included in the court order. Okay, so that information is not going to be included in the court order, Ms. Torres. Okay, so that'll be the order of the court. Ms. Herrera, I'm sorry, Ms. Torres, do you have any questions as to what?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Like 2 months back, I went to the child support office and they had told me, the lady told me where was the father of my kids. And I went because of some things that they had asked me for at the DHS office. And she looked at I told her that he was in jail. And she told me, you know what, in the system, it says that he's gonna be there for 40 years. I don't know if you are aware that he's gonna be that long in jail, or I don't know if he has already. I have no idea if he's gonna get out soon, but that's what she told me, that he was gonna be there for 40 years.
Okay.
So she told me, you know what, let's just, you need to close the case because it's not worth it. Just if he's never gonna be able to provide for his kids, because it says on the system that he's gonna be like for 40 years.
Okay. Well, the information that has been provided to the Attorney General, which has been provided to the court, is
Uh-huh.
he is going to be released sooner than that. Okay. So,
Oh, he's gonna be released? Like when?
in 2021, I believe, is the estimated release date.
Oh my
And
God,
Your
he's gonna be released in 2021?
Well, that's the information they have. I would suggest you follow up with the Attorney General's office and see which date they anticipate that he might be getting released. Okay.
Your Honor, before we adjourn,
Yes,
I
sir.
do need to make one correction.
Okay.
Mr. Martin Herrera Estrada, born 6/4/1966, is in jail, and his maximum sentence date is till 2033. I sent you a copy of a different Martin Estrada Herrera
Okay.
No, his name is not Estrada.
max sentence date. I would like to now send you the correct report.
Okay. All right. All right. They'll send me the correct date, Miss Torres. So you might be right. They might have told you the correct information.
Oh, so you got another.
Yeah, I think there was another individual that they had that information for.
Yeah, because his date of birth is of 2266.
Okay. So they may have information pertaining to somebody else. Okay. I would suggest that you contact the AG's office, the Attorney General's office, and clarify that with them. Okay. All right. So, like I was saying, once he does get released, we can review the child support obligation at that time. Okay. All right. So,
Okay.
Mr. Kanath will be preparing the order for my signature. Once I receive it, I'll sign it. We'll file it with the clerk's office. And ma'am, Ms. Torres, you will be receiving a copy of the order that has been issued by the court today. Okay. And we'll send a copy of that order to
Okay.
Mr. Herrera as well. All right.
Okay.
Anything else, that will conclude our hearing for today. Ms. Herrera, Ms. Torres, thank you very much for your participation today. I know we had some difficulty in the audio system. That's one of the problems that we have when we do remote hearings. Sometimes that happens. But I think we got all the information that we needed and in order to at least close out this case for today, okay? At least by an order today. Okay? And I thank you for your participation today. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close the hearing and say parties are excused at this point. You can hang up. And thank you for your participation, Ms. Torres. You have a good and safe day, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Judge, that corrected exhibit just got sent out under the subject line corrected TDCJ.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you. I think that's
Torres.
that happens. All right. Well, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Canal. Send me the order. I think we just had one this afternoon. The other one was dismissed, non-suited, and the admonishment. So that concludes our docket for this afternoon.
Thank
We'll
you.
get right on it. Thanks very much.
Thank
Judge.
you. Parties excused.